Okay, we are diving directly into this stream. I believe we are live. I changed up the visual for today. Chat, let me know if you could hear me, because I don't know if you could hear me. This is The Process, Tuesday, January 9th. I'm Josh Engleman, breaking down a 5-game NBA slate, but I am remixing this one on the fly. So chat, I need your help. Can you hear me? And does everything look okay? That's the first question. Can hear me. I hope you didn't mistype that, Larry. But we're changing the game up a little bit. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Bingo. We're in good shape. I like it. I like it. What's up, chat? Now I need to figure out how to get the chat on my screen. There's got to be a way to do that. Maybe there isn't. Feels like there isn't. YouTube live control panel. See? Tried to do this. Doesn't appear like it's going to work the way that I wanted it to work. Which is kind of annoying in that it should just show up there. I should be able to see the chat. I don't need the chat rate. I want the chat itself to be on the screen where I'm looking right now. But for some reason, that's not the case. How's everything look on the screen? So for right now, you should be seeing the Sacramento Kings like depth chart screen, which I think should look pretty good. So I think we're all right. What's up, everybody? Rough night last night. I took a pretty big stand in the end, and I feel bad about this. I took a stand on Tyrese Halliburton, and I might have ruined his season. That is sad to think about. Makes me sad. And I really wish this control panel doohickey. Oh yeah, you're going down there for sure. That's way better. I don't know why I can't show the chat. That would be much better. Ooh. Ruh-roh. Looks like me moving stuff around didn't make this stream go any better, that's for sure. Getting a little choppy. Getting a little choppy. Oh, Ron, so I still had SGA. I ended up fading Giannis. That actually ended up being the thing I did as my like get different move. And that worked out. It's not like he was great. I'd like to know what Halliburton would have done in this game that went to 130 points. Like, I feel like that fade could have been pretty interesting in the long run. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know if I can save this stream and make it not choppy. I don't think that I can do that. Maybe I can. I don't think that I can, but we're going to try to. Let's try something like that. I think I might have made a change. Hopefully that works. I don't know if it will work. So I wanted to move here. Here's the long and short of why you're looking at a different visual for today. My goal is to make this program and the NBA strategy show a little bit more useful. And I wanted to start, I got a wild hair this morning that I wanted to just change up this little look and start thinking about the way that I could really get the information on the screen in a better way. So I'm going to start playing with the visual experience you see right now. Like looking at this depth chart for DraftKings and FanDuel, I'm going to change everything here so that we can see everything a little bit better, bounce between the two. I want to better use the screen real estate for you guys. The depth chart might always just be like a thing just because that really only exists for me to make my changes. But for this display, I want you guys to be able to see what I see. That's my thought process. If I can figure out, once I get chat into my left-hand view, I'll be in a much, much better position. I desperately want to try opening my laptop and moving OBS to my laptop screen, but that's for a different day. S&P, I think one of those names gets dealt. I think one of those names get dealt. Probably the obvious one. I can go a little bit bigger on that depth chart screen too. That's the biggest that I can go. I know that I am a quite large right now, Larry, but you want the star of the show to be the big piece, no? I think. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, Heald is as good as gone. I don't think they trade Turner. I don't think they trade Toppin. I would trade Toppin, but I don't think there's any real trade market there. But Turner's not going anywhere. I don't think, at least. If they were going to trade Turner, I think they would have done that already. They should. Like, is there a team? Honestly, it's probably not worth the assets. Yeah, it's probably not worth the assets. I'd love to see him as like a too big system in OKC, but I want everybody in OKC. I mean, the real answer for where Turner should go is and has always been the New Orleans Pelicans, but that's not going to happen. Seems like I've made this less choppy, by the way. Correct me if I'm wrong. The problem, S&P, is that like the only thing they're going to do, like cap space is useless to Indiana. They're never going to be able to buy, like no free agent is going to the Pacers. Probably that's better than Miles Turner. But I don't think you get rid of like the spacing big. And yeah, like I still got to play with all the settings on the back end and stuff. I just felt like, and get a real overlay for the process. This is just the overlay that I use for, what's the word? What's that show I do? The Contenders. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, we could probably get to breaking this slate down now. 5-gamer ahead of us here. Should be pretty easy to break down. Not a lot going on in it. Yesterday stunk. Yesterday college football stunk. Oh, man, did I get destroyed. And that was not fun. I watched that game late. It just felt like I had a much bigger stand on Washington, and then whoever that main running back is for Michigan that scored the 2 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes, I didn't really have him either. That was my big fade to get different. My ROIs looked pretty good, so I was very happy there, but boy, did I get dusted. It was just holding, and this guy dropped a pass for Washington, and then it was, like over the shoulder, just couldn't hang on to it. Holding, like I felt like Washington was just I think they were 0 for 13 or 14 on third down. I just had the wrong piece of that one. Yeah. Ooh, did I miss something? Why New Orleans? Yes. S&P nailed that one for me. So yeah, you get a rim protecting center that can space the floor and allow Zion some room to cook in the paint. Yeah, do we want to talk? So Ja done for the year. That's actually interesting for the Grizz, because now you can you don't even have to fake it. You can fully punt. There's really no reason now to not get guys that you think can be in your future minutes. There's no reason to not try to make some trades to line you up for next year. Because, with Brandon Clark coming back next year as another big, whatever you get out of Steven Adams, whatever that is, maybe you trade Steven Adams now, who knows? But you line yourself up for next year. and you try to lock down. They're sixth, I believe, in the standings. You try to lock down a pick. And then you've got the Pacers, where we just really need to hope that Tyrese Halliburton wakes up today feeling better than he did when he got carried off the floor last night, because that sucks. I can't imagine there's a single person out there that's like, oh, nice, Halliburton hurt. Definitely don't want to watch that guy anymore. That one's just frustrating. It was extra frustrating that I took a stand on him last night as a pivot and ended up not getting there because of the injury. That sucked. But I feel worse for him because he's been having an incredible year. Probably cooks him for All-Star, which is also in Indiana this year, which is so annoying for him. Yeah, Bane and Triple J are going absolutely nowhere. All they're going to do is retool, but everybody's back next year and better than ever. All right, I believe it is time to get into this bad boy. So, let us proceed with the first game. So, first game up, Sacramento Kings, 11.5 point favorites in Detroit, 240 total. This is the highest total on today's slate. So we can start there. I need to figure out a place to put this chat. I guess I don't really have the answer to that question. Do I got to do this? Oh, that's too big. That is way too big. So let's see. Can I make OBS smaller? Yes. This might get choppy one last second. Okay, that's good. Can I make this smaller even further? I can. Nice. Okay, chat can hide out down here. Right where I would normally put my minutes table, that is where chat can go for the rest of today. Perfect. Did I toast already? No, I did not toast yet, actually. That's a good line. If you got a coffee, I've already started drinking mine because I got antsy while I was trying to get this entire thing set up. So, cheers to you all. Rise and grind, everybody. This is the process. Let's get it done. Iced coffee to start the day, too. Alrighty. So now I can bring up all the windows that matter for me. Man, I'm really frustrated about Halliburton yesterday. I can't get that out of my head. It's a shame. Okay. Sacramento Kings. Actually, I think when I open up this new window, it's going to mess up the screen. Oh. You can just see that. Okay, that's kind of cool. Didn't know that was going to happen. Did not know that. All right, so for Sacramento, first game up, Trey Lyles, questionable. On the Pistons side, we have no Cade, who got hurt last time out. We've got no Beef Stew, no Monty Morris, so normal stuff other than what we already knew. So for Sacramento, this should be pretty easy. We're just going to put Trey Lyles back in the game and then go about everything else that we normally do. So we'll start that off with 35 minutes to De'Aaron Fox, 35 minutes to Sabonis. Normally I would go 36, but we're on the wrong view, aren't we? No, we're right. We're right. 35 minutes to Fox, 35 minutes to Sabonis. Need to decrease the percentage size of the spreadsheet. Dr. DFS, what do you mean? Is that hard to see? Because that seems to me like it would be easy to see. If I preview this window on my monitor, it looks crystal clear. So, let me know, though. Anyway, we get Fox in, we get Sabonis in. Keegan Murray, I think we're popping in for like 34. Yeah, that seems right. Larry, appreciate that. And we'll get the Barnacle of the Bay in. I mean, he's playing like 28 to 30 minutes a night. All right, guys, awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. Well, I'll improve the visual for sure, but for now, knowing that I can do this helps. Making progress. I think we get Malik Monk in for 26. The lack of minutes to Kevin Huerter lately has been kind of wild. Backup center. You never know who it's going to be, honestly. Last Sacramento game was the 7th. They did get beat by 33. Yeah, Duarte. They keep giving him the bogans where, he starts the first quarter, starts the third quarter. At least he did in this most recent game. Playing about 16, 18 minutes a night. He went 25, 26, 29, 10, 16, 15. What happened in the previous game to that? If he had the same rotation on the 5th, then I'll feel pretty good about it. 5th, Sacramento, 5-point win against Toronto. First and third quarter. All right. So we're going 18 to Chris Duarte. And that should really make the rest of this pretty easy. Backup center is probably JaVale. At least to a degree, JaVale. I got to sneeze, too. Let's get that sneeze out. Whew, that was a good one. Okay. We'll get JaVale a rotation. We'll get Trey Lyles in for some backup center run. Bump a couple minutes of Murray over. We pop Duarte in there. Now that leaves me 19 minutes for one last person. Ooh, sneeze is coming again. Oh, man. There's nothing better than a morning sneeze. Just truly invigorating. All right, that leaves me 6 minutes of random, some idiot. Kessler Edwards showing up in a game is kind of wild. But I'm just going to hide these final 6 minutes on Sasha Vezenkov. Rates don't need to change. They don't move around for Trey Lyles. So we'll go to Detroit. Now, taking Cade out, we actually have to break this bad boy down because that's going to look quite a bit different than it normally does. Pistons' last game was on the 7th. That is the game that Cade got hurt. So that should inform us at least a little bit. So let's think about what happened here. Second half, Killian Hayes gets the start in Cade's place. I think we're going to assume Hayes, Ivy, Boyan, Livers, Duran. So let's go ahead and get Killian Hayes out there for... He played 5 1/4, but got in foul trouble, plus another 6. That's going to be close to 12 minutes. I think we can go 28 to Killian Hayes. And then we can get Jaden Ivey also in for 28, at least for right now. Has the ability to jump up to 30. We're going to get Bojan Bogdanovic in for 34. We're going to get Isaiah Livers. Played 31 and just played pretty standard rotations, although did play the blowout. Doesn't have to close. I think we're probably going like 28 to Livers as well. We really just don't want to over-exaggerate somebody's minutes. Like the one guy that I think you go to is going to be Duren, 32 minutes. You know, we're getting Wiseman as the backup, basically as the straight backup. So I'm going to get Wiseman in for 15. Now, the rest of this rotation fills itself out. Kinda. Alec Burks certainly has been playing more as of late. Probably want to lean on him now. I'm thinking something in that 22 to 24 range. We have to assume that Marcus Sasser is now about to play quite a bit more than he had been. Is Marcus Sasser just like the backup point guard now? I don't think that would be the craziest situation. I'm going to go 16 minutes to Sasser. And that lets me go to 24 on Burks. Asar Thompson played 20 last time out, but a decent chunk of that is blowout run. So maybe more along the lines of like 16. And then we're just missing Kevin Knox minutes. Always fun giving Kevin Knox minutes. We get Kevin Knox in for 19. Is that what we're doing? It's a 10-man rotation. But we need rates now. This team is very different. How many games has Cade missed? That sample feels like it's a long time ago at this point. Has Cade really not missed a game? Is that real? I think that's real. All right. So we're going to say Cade Cunningham off. We're going to say games that Bojan definitely played. We definitely want to say that Jalen Duren also started. I think that's a little bit different of a team. That is a tiny sample. Bojan started, Cade off. Maybe is the best that I can do here. Even that is such a tiny sample. Holy hell. Wow. With Cade Cunningham off in games that Bojan Bogdanovic has started, I guess I'm just going to say Bojan Bogdanovic has played. James Wiseman leads the team in minutes. The most anti-correlated Cade Cunningham guy appears to be James Wiseman. Now, usage rate on Alec Burks takes a pretty big jump. Like, even Bojan. Bojan's only played 96 minutes with Cade off. Massive usage bump, I might add. All right, I'm going to take a look at what this looks like if I don't touch rates. Because, like, I can barely get Cade off the floor. 299 minutes with Cade off is Killian Hayes. 18% usage rate, which is basically where I have him. Now, very minor assist rate bump. We also see Marcus Sasser with a pretty sizable assist rate bump. Jaden Ivey, a little bit, but not much. Alec Burks, oddly enough, it goes down. I'm assuming that's because he's looking for his own shot so much more. So I am going to bump up Burks' usage. Bojan usage. He's only played 96 minutes without Cade Cunningham on this season. 29% usage for Bojan. We're not going to 29, but I do think something in that like 25, 26 range makes sense. Somebody's got to take the shots for this team. Ivy gets a little bit of a bump. I'm guessing Duren looks worse. He's only played 72 minutes. So I've basically bumped everybody that is relevant. Now, rebounding rate, I don't think should be all that interesting. Like, as long as Duren's getting them, Duren's getting them. So I think that's going to be Detroit. Which means we have both of these teams. So now we could look at Sacramento. 9,300 for Fox is probably the best thing we have here. 6,400 for Keegan Murray could look a little bit better if there was an MPE, but unfortunately there is not. I forgot to put socks on. My feet are freezing. If Trey Lyles plays, it's a 5-game slate. He's 3,900. That at least needs to be looked at a little bit more. I don't mind Sabonis at 10K. We'll see what that looks like with the rest of the centers, but he is always in play. Sabonis, 1.53 DraftKings points per minute over the last 30 days. That is a big, big number. As I look at Sacramento, I think your first priority is De'Aaron Fox. I think your second priority is Domantas Sabonis. And I think you're filling out with Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, and a $6,500 Malik Monk. Probably not going too much deeper than that. Barnes can work his way in. For Detroit, wow, they look a lot better than I thought they would. Give me 1 second. I know this view is going to look weird, but I got to delete something. There we go. Jalen Duren, 7K. Reminder for Detroit. This is the number 26 team in defense in the Pistons. The number 23 team in defense, that is the Kings. This is 6th in pace versus 11th in pace. I think we really like the Pistons. Reminder, no Cade. I'm going to pull up props. We're going to cross-check to see if I have anything crazy going on here. I don't think that I do. But Jalen Duren for 7K is standing out. $4,500 Killian Hayes, we're going to need to dig into a little bit. Bojan Bogdanovic, Livers, Ivy. This is an issue. So we do have props. We'll look at the Pistons one first, and then we can bounce back over to Detroit. Bojan Bogdanovic points prop is 21.5. I got him at 22. Fine. Ivy is at 16.5. I got it 16.5. Perfect. Jalen Duren, 14.5 to the under. Okay, I have 16.7. So what we're going to do here is mildly adjust Jalen Duren. I am not going to bump his usage, and I am going to take a minute away from him and give an extra minute to Wiseman. That should bring me down on Duren. So we've got, so that's a little bit more manageable. Now I have him at 15.3. Now the real prop is about 14, but I'm okay being a minute high on Duren in this spot. Killian Hayes points prop 10.5. I have 9.2. So not only do I think that I get this correct and think that he is an unequivocal major play, but I didn't even go the full bore for him. And then Isaiah Livers is at 8.5 to the over. I have it at 8.5. So I like these. Just got to check the Hayes assist prop, which is at 6.5. I got 5.8. Killian Hayes is going to be probably the top play on today's slate in terms of ownership. Dr. DFS. Going to be less interesting for you, I guess, since you're not playing on the same setup, but it's just how many fantasy points you're projected for over 5x your salary. So I can put it in this cell just so people understand it. If we talk about Killian Hayes, he's projected for 26.6 fantasy points. I would subtract 5 times 4.5. His salary is $4,500, so I'm just dropping the zero. Taking that per 1,000. So that's 5 times 4.5. You get 4.1. So that's how many points he is over his 5x score. Killian Hayes is an amazing play today. Assuming he's the starter. And he's a decent play if he doesn't start. But I don't see I don't see how you get away from that. I really don't. It's just a minutes thing. He's not going to be 4,500 in 2 weeks if Cade's still out and he's starting. He's going to be 6K. That's just going to happen. Or maybe not six, maybe like, I don't know. I got him at 0.95. Even if you just want to say 0.9. Even at 6K. At 6K, this would be 4.4. Yeah, he's going to be like 57, 5,800 shortly if Cade's out a while. You got to get to all of this Detroit team, though. The only guy that I probably wouldn't get to is Kevin Knox. JJ, are you the one that sent this to me? I don't remember any longer. If it is, if you just like the sweatshirt, thank you. If you aren't the person that sent this to me, shout out to the person that was watching the show and had a tie to the company that makes this and sent it to me because it was awesome. We got to play a lot of the Pistons. Hayes, number one option by a mile. I would expect him to be the number one play on today's slate. Duran, Boyan, Livers, Ivy. Honestly, here's the worst part. I think James Wiseman is way too interesting for today. What happens if Sacramento kicks the shit out of Detroit? Does Wiseman just close at center and play 18, 19 minutes? Because he's 3,600. It's a 5-game slate. And just FYI, because we haven't mentioned it like this, if they just happen to start Marcus Sasser over Knox, everything that I just said over Hayes, everything that I said about Hayes is the same for Sasser, but even more. Sasser is $1,000 cheaper and has the MPE. So whoever starts at point guard, if it's Hayes or Sasser, lock button type plays. Even if it's Alec Burks, you're probably getting like a shit ton. I don't think it'll be Burks, though. And just to finish it off again on Sacramento, Fox, Sabonis, primaries. All right. Back to it. Next game. Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Orlando Magic. Wolves are 5-point favorites, 218 total. So this is the low total for today. This one's 22 points below the previous game. Now, as we look at Minnesota, same guys that are normally available for Orlando. No Wendell Carter Jr., no Gary Harris, no Ingles, no Isaac, no Franz Wagner. So Minnesota, we're probably not changing here. Just going to take a quick peek at minutes just to make sure nothing crazy has been happening. McDaniels looks good. Karl Anthony Towns looks good. Edwards looks good. I don't think I have anything to change here. I'm actually going to bump Naz Reid 1 minute and bring Towns down 1 minute. I feel okay with the rest of this, though. Yeah. Yeah, we're good here. Let's go to the Orlando side. The Minnesota side was easy. The Orlando side, a little trickier. I do want to project these guys from scratch. I think that's just a little bit easier. Because we've been getting big minutes out of Paolo Banchero. We're going to get Goga in for 26. I think we get Mo Wagner in for 22. Did they... Oh, yeah, that game went to OT. And they split the center minutes. I bumped Anderson. I did? All right, let's get the rest of this Orlando team in. Now, they started who last time? Because I remember seeing, like, Chuma Okeke's name. All right, so let's get Suggs in. I think Suggs is playing 30. We had an incredible day out of Caleb Houston. 8 of 15 from the field, 7 of 14 from 3. No, you're not... you didn't see that one correctly, man. I gave Naz Reid the minute and took a minute from Karl Anthony Towns. I didn't give it to Kyle Anderson. I took Towns down from 33 to 32 and gave that minute to Reid. Sorry, I realize I'm just bouncing around now and you guys don't see the screen in the same way. Back to Orlando. So we need to get Houston and Okeke out there for starting run. I mean, Houston played 30 minutes in regulation and that went well for him. So I'm going to say that he gets 28. I don't want to go... I can't assume that Caleb Houston is just always out there. Same story for Chuma Okeke. He played 38 minutes. So 33 in regulation. Now, his size matters a little bit more, kind of. We did get Fultz back. He played 15 minutes, just straight backup run. So I think we're doing that again. You're all good, man. You're all good. Let's get Cole Anthony in for... He played 30. Did he close OT? He did close OT. So he would have played 26 in regulation. Nah, and I think that makes some sense. So now we still have to get Anthony Black playing time. He just came off the bench, played pretty minimally. So we'll go to 12. That leaves me 12 more. Who's left? It's Queen. Now, Queen only played a fourth quarter rotation. No one else got any run. I don't want to give him 12 minutes, but I feel like I have to. But then I got to really move everybody down the positional spectrum. So that'll be that. I do want to look at props very quickly, just to check the Banchero points prop, because I know the usage rate has jumped up in a pretty significant way. I've got Paolo at 27.5 points. His points prop is at 27.5, slightly juiced to the over. So I'm going to throw a hook on there and just bump him up, a half point. Suggs is at 15.5. I'm close. Goga's at 8.5. I'm close. So let's evaluate this matchup. We have Minnesota first. Okay, Ant, 9K, point guard, shooting guard, very much in the mix. Minnesota kind of looking like Sacramento in that there's nobody just jumping off the page. Jaden McDaniels for value at 4,600 just because of small forward. Towns for 7,700, just, power forward center. You got to pay attention. Gobert, all right at 7,100. Fantasy point per minute, dude. Rest of these guys are probably just filler. Not a lot to like on the FanDuel side for Minnesota. For Orlando, yeah, sign me up for some 9K Paolo Banchero at power forward. Given that usage bump, hard to say that he doesn't look great. Does he get an assist bump? Yeah, he's at 5.5 to the over. I'm at 4.5. Just out of curiosity, if I load up Orlando and we take Franz Wagner off, That's really the only one that I care about. How big is the assist rate change in the 427 minutes Banchero has played? I actually don't think it's that big. 6.2 to 6.8. Yeah, I'm not bumping it as far as it seems. But still makes Banchero look incrementally better. Dude looks good. No other way to say it. Dude just looks good. Very clearly the best thing you can get to from Orlando. Goga is probably next at 5,700. Anthony and Okiki probably up next. We're not going to expect the 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy, Caleb Houston, to just go crazy. Let's go to the next game then. We've got Portland, 11.5 point underdogs in New York. There's no way this one looks good. Portland is always a pain in the ass from a team perspective. DeAndre Ayton, doubtful. Moses Brown broke his wrist. Q-tag on Matisse Thybulle. Q-tag on Jabari Walker. And then, obviously, no Robert Williams, no Mitchell Robinson on the opposite side. I'm going to reproject this entire rotation just to make life easier. Portland is difficult, and I don't totally know what they did last time out. For Portland, their last game was on the 7th. We got staggering minutes out of some of these guards. They beat Brooklyn by 7. So that game went to OT, but Simons played 45 minutes. That's still 40 in regulation. Not sure we can project that, but I think we can go 36 to Simons in regulation. Scoot played 30. He didn't play the entire fourth quarter or overtime. They let Shaden... Did he get hurt? Oh, he played the whole third quarter. I don't know why he didn't come back in. They went to Brogdon instead. Was Scoot just playing bad? Yep, minus 12. All right, so it seems like we're putting Scoot in for like 30, 31 minutes. So that's the first two guys. By all accounts, we should be getting Dwop Reith in at center, who played 41 minutes last time out. That's an amount of minutes that's real. I should really flip these screens right to left, but that's going to become frustrating. But when I'm looking at the minutes, I think it'd be better for me to be looking the other direction. I mean, Reith played 35 in regulation. What the hell do we do with that? That's got to be the goal, right? Like, if they played him 35.8 minutes in regulation. I have to project this dude for... Well, then now that also had no Jabari Walker. I don't know, 28 for Reith? That seems like pretty reasonable. They still only played Ibu Baji 9 minutes, so it's not like they're going out of their way to get him a lot of playing time. I'm going to go 28 here and then 20 to Jabari Walker, and it could be potentially more to Walker. He also has to play, too. I hate Portland, man. Jeremy Grant, unsurprisingly, played 42 and a half minutes in that overtime, so 37. And I think we're probably taking a look at Jeremy Grant and putting him in for 36, 35, something like that. Maybe that should even be 34, but they just get the shit kicked out of them so frequently. All right, and then Kamara played 28 minutes in regulation, never played in OT. I think like 26 for Kamara makes a bunch of sense. And then we fill out with the rest of these guys. So Shaden Sharp played the final 11. Shaden Sharp played the final 24 minutes of that game, which is the thing that happened. Can't really assume that continues. So I don't know, 26 to Shaden Sharp. We need to get Malcolm Brogdon his minutes. Malcolm Brogdon played 22, including the 5 minutes of overtime. So, was set to play like 18. And that's what he was really playing for the previous 4. So I think we just call it 17. Add 8 more here to Shaden Sharp. So that takes me to 12 and 14. We need to get Matisse Thybulle in, and I have 21 minutes left over. That seems like the perfect amount for Matisse Thybulle. Rates can stay the same. I'm very nervous about what Reith looks like. For the Knicks, now this should just be their normal rotation. 36 to Randall. I have 37 to Brunson. I think they should both be 36. I've got OG Anunoby in for 36. I am going to make that 35. I have 20 for Quentin Grimes. I am going to make that 18. Dante DiVincenzo played 25 in 3 of the 4 games that we've had OG Anunoby for. So I'm taking him up to 24. 35 Anunoby. 28 Josh Hart is going to be 29. Nope, that's not the right number. 29. 35 for Isaiah Hartenstein. Feels good. 13 to Precious. Feels good. Miles McBride, I have in for 13. I'm actually going to hide this minute on Jericho Sims just so I don't have Miles McBride become a thing. So that's going to be the Knicks. Oh, turned my camera off. There we go. All right. Portland. $7,700 Anthony Simons. Now, is this a good matchup? Not really. Knicks are slow, but Simons can pour it in at the very least. He is certainly worth a bit of a look at 7,700 with the MPE. His points prop is 24.5 to the under. I have 23.9. Feel good. Dwop Reith is 5,500, so very much in play and has the ability to play more than 28 minutes. Whether or not that happens is a different story. Jeremy Grant would be the other guy that I'd be willing to get to. Might have him mildly overprojected, but I think he looks okay. On the Knicks end, good spot. I mean, Portland is dead last in offensive rating. They're 20th in defensive rating. They play faster than New York. $8,900 Julius Randle is jumping off the page for me. I did not expect that. Points prop is 28.5. I have 27.5. Please get yourself quite a bit of Julius Randle. 9,100 for Jalen Brunson. Do that too. He looks really good. 6,400 for Isaiah Hartenstein. I only have him at 8.8 points. His points prop is 10.5 to the under. Play Isaiah Hartenstein. Randall, Hartenstein, Brunson, Josh Hart to a degree at 4,800. Those 3 guys look good. And that says nothing for getting to Anunoby or DiVincenzo. I really like the Knicks. I like the payups for the Knicks. I like Randall and Brunson more than I like Fox and Sabonis. If that's a reference point that would help. 2 more games to go. We've got Memphis. Oh, no. 8.5 point dogs in Dallas. 234 total. We obviously don't have Ja Morant. I am going to redo their rotation. They have been just a real thorn in my side as of late. Memphis's last game was the 6th. They played... Was it not the 6th? Oh, I'm on the Knicks. Was the 7th. That was without Ja. So that is mildly helpful. Memphis. Santi Aldama, doubtful. Jaren Jackson, questionable. No Ja, no Rose, no Jacob Gilead. For the Mavs, Luka, probable. No Exum, no Lively. Grant Williams, probable. Interesting game. This could go a couple different directions. So the lack of Santi Aldama will be at least a little interesting off the bench. But let's go ahead and get the starting lineup in first. And then we'll work our way from there. So we'll start this off. Marcus Smart in at the point. 38 minutes last time out with no Ja. 39 the game before that with no Vince Williams. I think we're going 34 or 35 here. I'll start with 34 on Smart. Got the staggered rotations too. Closed big minutes. He's just going to be out there. Next up, we'll get Bane. He's going straight in for 36. No way around that. Vince Williams didn't start, but ended up playing 37 minutes. They went to Kennard, who played 22. I wonder what they do there. Oh, S&P. Insane. Started, played 3 minutes, and then didn't play again. Like, what the hell do you do with that kind of thing? That's so stupid. Not only that, they announced Biyombo as the starter. No one ever knew that Tillman started that game. It's craziness. It's truly craziness. We get Triple J in for 32. That's about what he does every time out. I mean, I assume we get more Vince Williams minutes. Surely Luke Kennard can play a little bit more than 22, but maybe not. So I'm going to go 22 there and 26 to Vince Williams. Not that I have a great feel for that. I think we have to just continue to assume Bismack Biyombo is playing like 26 minutes a night. I have no idea what to do with Tillman. Here are Tillman's minutes the last 8 games. He started and played 3. He played 12. He played 23 in a game where Biyombo just didn't play. He was out of the rotation, played 8, and then 17 on a day where Bismack Biyombo played 8. If you can figure out what Memphis is doing with their center rotation, good for you. I don't think Taylor Jenkins knows at this moment who's going to play for these guys. So the rest of this team, I mean, like, I have to project Tillman some minutes, right? 12 and then 10 to Triple J. I mean, look, if Santi Aldama's not playing, then I think you just get a lot more Jaren Jackson at the 4. Like, I think that like they're just running out of dudes that play those positions. Like, I think big body David Roddy's got to play a bunch. Spoiler alert, he didn't play at all last time out. But I think Roddy like has to play now if Aldama's not playing, or they go even smaller. Although, if I'm right and they just play Jaren Jackson more, this could be like a more interesting Tillman off the bench day. I'm going 14 to Tillman. Zaire Williams played 27 minutes off the bench, closed the entire fourth quarter. I think, 22 is probably about right for him. I think Roddy has to be up next at the 4. If Triple J is out, this becomes a real... Okay, that's what S&P is saying. If Triple J is out, it becomes a real issue. Yeah, I think Roddy's going to play, and I think John Conchar is going to play. I'm going to go 14 to Roddy. And I'm going to go 14 to Conchar. I don't like this positionality, though. That's for sure. Now, rates I actually do think I already have. But we do need to take a peek at them. Bane, 26.5 points to the over. I have 28.4. I am okay with that. Smart's at 14.5. I've got 16.5. I can walk his usage right back a little bit. No line on Triple J right now because of his because of his Q tag. Sorry. And we go to Dallas. I'm going to reproject that entire rotation. I have no idea what they did this last time out when guys were missing. Dallas ended up beating Minnesota by 7. In that game, we got Kyrie, Doncic, Green, Jones, and Powell. I expect to get that again here. So we're going to get Kyrie in for 36. I think we get Luka Doncic in for 36. I think we get Tim Hardaway in for 29. I think we get Josh Green in for 28. I think we get Derek Jones Jr. 28. And then we get Dwight Powell 26. Yikes. All right. First guy off the bench was Tim Hardaway, so I've already got his minutes in. And then Grant Williams was next, played 20 minutes. He was the direct backup to Dwight Powell. Now, that is an interesting thing to think about. So I guess I'm going 22 to Grant Williams. Seth Curry up next, played 12 minutes. And that is, I'm assuming, like basically just a Kyrie-ish backup. So let's get Seth Curry in for 12. Only other guy that played was Jaden Hardy. He played 4 minutes. So they went to an basically 8.5 man rotation. Where in the world am I supposed to give the rest of these minutes to? I'm not going bigger than 36 on Kyrie and 36 on Luka. That's nuts. I mean, I have to assume Jaden Hardy plays a little bit more than he did. But that still leaves me 15 minutes left. I'm going to take Derek Jones to 29 just because I have to. I don't want to touch the Powell Grant Williams minutes because they don't seem like they want to. We don't really have other guys that are missing. So I'll give 2 more to Curry. He shouldn't show up. 28 for Josh Green feels right. So I kind of just need to hide the rest of these minutes. So it's going to be 6 to Prosper, 6 to AJ Lawson for me. And we're going to take a look and see if we have any issues with the props. So we go to Memphis, 8.5 point dogs. Dallas is 22nd in defense. So it's actually an okay enough spot for the Grizz. 8,500 for Desmond Bane, shooting guard, small forward. Looks really good to me. One of the main priorities of today's slate, that position and having this price tag with Morant out, very important. I really like Triple J. After that, it's where it gets murky. You've got $3,600 Zaire Williams. You've got $4,300 Vince Williams. Marcus Smart. Bismack Biyombo is $4,200. Like, if he's playing 26 minutes, that's at a minimum interesting. I really like Memphis today. Really like Memphis today. For Dallas, okay. Luka, I have his points prop at 30. I have his points at 35. The points prop is 34.5 to the under. I will soften the blow on that usage rate. Kyrie, points prop, currently sitting at 25.5. I've got 26. Won't touch it. The only other prop we have is Derek Jones Jr., 10.5. It's exactly where I have it. So pay up for Luka if you can. Certainly looks like the best pay up option that we've seen. No surprises. Get to Kyrie if you can, 8,800. I think he kind of looks a little bit better than De'Aaron Fox. After that for Dallas, so it's only Jones and Powell. I probably wouldn't be going to much else. Maybe Josh Green for positionality. And then we closed it out with the late night hammer. 10:30 tip-off, Raptors and Lakers. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. Changing up this view. If you like it, let me know in the comments section or in chat. For Toronto, we do have a piece of news that is very important. That is going to be no Jakob Poeltl out with an ankle sprain. So we're getting somebody looking damn tasty. We just got to figure out who that's going to be. If I go to the last Toronto game, they played on the 7th. They beat Golden State by 15. We're going to need to reproject this entire rotation. For Toronto, for the Lakers side of this one, AD probable, Rui doubtful, LeBron questionable. So pretty standard stuff. It's very interesting to see about who starts. Like, do they go small and go Siakam at the 5 against the Lakers? Probably not. So I'm guessing... we get Boucher, although do we get Boucher starting? That is a tricky question. I also need to add Jonte Porter to the Raptors, I guess. Oh, no. I think I know what's happening here. No, I just don't have him. All right, I don't know who Javon Freeman Liberty is, but... we get Jonte... Do I really not have... How is Jonte Porter not in my model? I might need to figure that out quickly. Missing player info. Jonte Porter. Oh, he needs a position. I see. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to add Jonte Porter since it appears he's going to play. Jonte Porter. Done. Let's get Jonte Porter in. Perfect. Now he should just immediately pop into my stuff. And he did. Yay, that worked out. It's always good. That helps. All right, let's get the easy guys out there first. So we're going to start it off quickly. I think we're going to 33 minutes. And then we get Barrett in for 33 minutes. We get Scotty Barnes in for 35. We get Pascal Siakam in for 36. I like that S&P. Oh, man, who's going to play these minutes? Schroeder played 28 off the bench. In the 4 games that they've had the new dudes, he's averaged basically 30. We'll go 29. We got to get Gary Trent in. He's played 3 games, looking at like 24, 25 minutes. Do they play him more? I'm going 25 to Trent. Could play more. They could just close with Siakam. They've got quickly Schroeder, Trent, Siakam, Barnes, Barrett. Those 6 guys can soak up a lot of playing time and can all sort of play alongside of each other. So I still have a shit ton of minutes left here. Why wouldn't Boucher play more? Like in the game Gary Trent didn't play, he played 28 minutes. He's playing about 16 a pop. I mean, he's got to play, what, 18 or 20? And then, you get Jonte Porter out there playing 14 or 16. You give the rest of that center run to Pascal Siakam. And then you have like one new person step in the rotation. You would think they'd want to go size, so either Thad Young or Jalen McDaniels. I'm going to go Thad. But I think it could be McDaniels. They have enough. Man, is Thad Young going to play 15? I doubt it. I'm going to go to McDaniels instead of Thad. What good is my data if I'm going to change it to go with whatever the prop line is? That's not exactly what's happening here. It is a second source of information. And then later today, when Stochastic drops the projections, that'll be a third source of information. And the other main websites in this industry will be source 4 and source 5. It would be insane to not take in every source of information. So if I'm off by like 4 points, I'm probably a little light on minutes. If I'm in and around it within 2 points either direction, I'm probably not going to touch it. But to not look at all of the data would be insane. I'm not trying to bet on the games. I'm trying to predict the playing time. I don't give a shit about whether an over or an under is a good bet. I want to try to project the rotations as correct as possible using as much information as I possibly can. Rates, I'm going to assume, don't really change. It's either Pirtle or no Pirtle. So we'll go to the Lakers side. We will reproject the Lakers just because. Not a lot to worry about here. We did get Russell back after 3 games out. That will be interesting, at least, to the Austin Reeves minutes that have been huge as of late. AD, I'm going 38 minutes. LeBron, I'm going 37. Taurean Prince seems pretty good for 32. Maybe 31 now that that Russell's back. Christian Wood still played 16. What was the last Lakers game? The 7th. Lakers beat the Clippers by 3. They didn't close with Reddish. They just scattered those final couple guys. So we get D'Angelo Russell back playing. He played 31 minutes off the bench, which is a big number that I don't think is going to be continuing. Closed over Reddish in both quarters, though. That is an interesting piece of it. I don't know, 26? What do we go? 30, 32 to Reeves. Reddish played 20. Seems pretty stuck around 24. We need to get Jared Vanderbilt like 19 minutes. We need to get... Who's left? Christian Wood and Max Christie. Wood plays about 16. And then we just need to get Max Christie 14 minutes. And then I can just hide 3 on somebody else. That would be Jackson Hayes. Come on down. All right, final game to evaluate. Toronto Raptors. 8K Pascal Siakam certainly looks really good here. Very interesting pivot to what I think will be a relatively popular Julius Randle. But you get power forward center. Siakam looking a little bit more. You've got that Towns, Siakam, Julius Randle, and Jaren Jackson Jr. All these guys with power forward center. I like RJ Barrett for 6,500. I like Scotty Barnes for 8,700. Those three guys are the priorities. Quickly at 7K is probably just a little too expensive to feel great about it. If we find out that Boucher or Jonte Porter are starting, they will look way better. I don't know how we know that at a time where we can make that kind of information happen. We're talking about a 2-hour gap between Memphis and Dallas. We likely never know. And then on the Lakers side, we have Anthony Davis looking... Okay, add Anthony Davis to that list now. 10,100 power forward center. I have him with a 30-point prop. Is that real for today? Or do I have his rates jacked? Because AD looks like the best play on today's slate right now. 28.5 juice to the over. I'll knock it down a little bit. LeBron's points prop is at 28.5. I have it at 28.5. AD at 10-1 power forward center looks really good. That's going to stop you from getting to Luka as much because of that power forward eligibility. Power forward center looks great today, but 9,800 for LeBron, small forward, power forward. I would make the argument that that looks better than most of these other guys. I think we really like those two for the Lakers today. You would expect Toronto's defensive rating to go down. They're 17th now. That can't improve with Jakob Poeltl leaving the floor and going to more of anybody else, honestly. Now, Jakob Poeltl has not been having like the best defensive season, but still. All right, let's run some crunches and figure out what this looks like. By the way, I'm going to need to quickly, on the fly, crop this screen. So I don't have anything set up to grab. I realize that I don't have anything set up to grab this yet. So we're going to create. This is the screen in a big way. Get ready for that. There we go. All right, so we got Cruncher on the screen. Let's shrink that down to just what you need to see. We can go a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. This might be too narrow. So I'm going to bump that over there. Ah, yeah, that looks way better now. That looks way better. Because now I can make it that size. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That looks like it should be good. It will be good enough. So let's get projections in. Let's run our crunch. I think we're going to see Anthony Davis in the optimal lineup. The real question is, does LeBron James join him? Optimals on DraftKings. All right, now I can actually move this thing around. Actually, that'll work. 274.4. Optimal lineup by... Actually, I can move this now. Much better. 274.4. Optimal lineup by 0.1. Killian Hayes, Marcus Smart, Isaiah Livers, Paolo Banchero, Anthony Davis, Desmond Bane, Zaire Williams, and Vince Williams. No bit of that seems surprising to me. It's not fun. You don't love the double value Grizzlies pieces. You can turn Vince Williams into Trey Lyles if you want to. And you can go... This is the 3v3. Banchero, Vince Williams, and Marcus Smart for Trey Lyles, Bismack Biyombo, and Luka Doncic. But you can get the double pay-ups right now pretty easily. Or even like the pseudo triple with Bane, Banchero, and AD. AD was in all 50. Hayes was in all 50. Zaire Williams in 92%. Bane in 76. Livers in 68. Everybody else in single digits below that. We add randomness. Killian Hayes is the number one play. There was never going to be any doubt to that information. Zaire Williams is second. AD, Livers, Bane, Biyombo, LeBron, Hartenstein, and Josh Hart are all the other guys above 20%. If we're talking about just pay-up options, just to make that easier to see, AD is, to me, the easiest pay-up option to get to. Because he has power forward eligibility, it changes everything. I think LeBron is second. And then after that, I think you're going to everything. It's either you can go to Luka. I don't know how you go to Domantas Sabonis at this point. Or Fox, for that matter. Because I think Brunson looks better than Fox. I really like Paolo at 9K. I like Anthony Edwards still looks fine. Randall, Irving, Barnes, Bane, Siakam. We're loaded at the top, and it seems pretty easy to get to these guys. We have enough value. I actually like this slate right now. Let's go to FanDuel and finish this one off. FanDuel Optimals. What do we have? All right, 289.98. This is the optimal by 0.27. Marcus Smart, Jalen Brunson. Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard. RJ Barrett, Jaden McDaniels. AD, Isaiah Livers. Bismack Biyombo. Biyombo was in all 100%. All 50 of those lineups. Bane was in all 50. Brunson was in 48. LeBron in 82%, Kennard in 76%, Isaiah Livers in 54%, everybody else below 50. As we put on randomness and close this one out, we have Desmond Bane as the top option on the Grizzlies, Biyombo, then Kennard, then Isaiah Livers, RJ Barrett, looking really nice on FanDuel. Marcus Smart, Jalen Brunson, Jaden McDaniels, Triple J. This is quite the fun slate. Really is. Really, really looking good. I don't think I have anything else. I'm excited for this slate. I think it looks good. It's not like there's a lot of ugly for sure. But as I look at it right now, I'm very interested in this slate. Oh my God, is that real? Nope. It is not. Did I not? Why is Jonte Porter showing up as 6,200? That means he's showing up twice somewhere. What other team is Jonte Porter on? Craig Porter, Michael Porter. He was on the Pistons, and I didn't know that. Goodbye, Pistons, Jonte Porter. And goodbye, Jonte Porter. Perfect. Alrighty, guys. Well, we are done. I hope you guys like the new visual. We're going to build on this and make it better and better as we move along. Maybe I could... there's no real way to, like, shrink me more and add something else onto the screen that we would want to see. Maybe double blocks? I don't know. We'll talk about it. I'll hit up the graphics department. Shout out to Brody. But for now, guys, I think we are done around these parts. I don't have anything else left. I also don't have like any fade outs or any of that good stuff. I think this is just going to end abruptly. If I click fade here, does anything happen? Nope, sure doesn't. Sure doesn't. So strategy show a little bit later. I'll have prize picks out. We went 1-1 yesterday, I believe. Kobe White just crushed me. Very annoying. Contenders videos will be out in a bit as well, guys. Thank you for joining me. I will talk to you all later. This was the process, everybody.